The new Forbidden Limited list has just dropped. Let's take a look at it. Hey guys, Otak here, back with another video, and I do have to kind of keep quiet here. Everyone in my house is asleep right now. I don't want to wake them up. But a new Forbidden Limited list has just dropped at YCS Houston, and this is a big list. I am, of course, going to go ahead and just spoil it right away. I have already looked at the list, so this isn't going to be like a live reaction by any means, but there's a lot to talk about. But before we do jump on into the Forbidden Limited list, I want to remind you all that I am currently doing a month-long giveaway for a Malice core that ends on May 1st. So if that is something that you are interested in winning, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also answer all 3 questions at the end of this video correctly. For further details on how to win the giveaway, take a look at the video I uploaded earlier this week. The link will be in the description below. But also consider joining my community Discord and following me over on Twitch. They are not requirements to win the giveaway, but it will certainly bring you an advantage if you are in my community Discord. And for the final plug, if you want to continue to support this channel, next time you go over to TCG Player to buy some extra cardboard, because I'm sure you are buying a bunch of stuff with the new Forbidden Limited list, consider using my affiliate link down in the description below. But with that, let's take a look at this list. Alright, so to start, we're going to look at the Unlimits, and honestly, none of this matters. This is stuff that's been slowly creeping its way up the list with the last 3 lists. Unlimits, Cyberjar, Jackalope, Tsuchinoko, Eva, and Monkeyboard. I think like the only notable ones here is Jackalope and Tsuchinoko. Both are very strong cards that benefit regardless if they are discarded off their own effect or not, because you're drawing a card or you're getting a body, one of the two. I can definitely see like Malice players toying with this, especially with the upcoming changes we're going to be looking at here in a second. I could see Jackalope and Tsuchinoko being toyed with since they are level 3s, so you can use them to make the Cherubini and then, Haggard, blah, 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 blah. But for now, just, something for the think tank. Now, where the update really matters is the semi-limit list. We are seeing Black Dragon, Collapse Serpent, and Wyverburster going to 2, which is really cool for the D-Link Malice deck profile that I posted ever so many months ago, so definitely take a look at that. Link will also be in the description below for that, and I'm considering possibly toying with that as well. But the big ones is X Ryzeal, Ice Ryzeal, and Sword Ryzeal, somewhere on there. All put to 1. Malice Dormouse, White Rabbit, and Malice and Underground Field Spell is put to 2. Sorry, I think I said the Ryzeals were put to 1. Sorry, they were put to 2. And then Dormouse, Rabbit, and Underground were put to 2. As much as I love Malice, yeah, I think this is all like a good play. Konami is doing what I kind of expected Konami to do. I didn't think we were going to actually see hits to Ryzeal and Malice, but they have been out like long enough, and we're about to go into Nats season very soon that like realistically they couldn't be ignored. But then also we are going into Alliance Insight, so they're doing what they always do with decks like these, and they're making room for the new stuff. The concern here is that Malice, unlike Ryzeal, does not have every card in its deck being a 1-card starter. Dormouse is probably like the closest to that, whereas all of the Ryzeal names minus Node have the ability to just fully start combo. And on top of that, Malice like kind of needs to see a Bestial to really get going, especially if you have like an Imperm to stop them. Removing a couple of their names, technically 3 of their names, because Underground can be any one of them. It's essentially just a Gold Sark. So removing Dormouse and Rabbit, and then removing a Field Spell, which is just further engine. It hurts, but I'm sure we'll find ways to sub in. We're also seeing Ash and Poplar coming back to 2, which is like fine because OSS is banned. So honestly, them at 2, I don't think is going to make the world of a difference. Snake Eye is probably a little more consistent now, but like losing OSS is big for Snake Eye, and I think like we'll see Snake Eye Fire King make a resurgence, and maybe even pure Snake Eye with Azumita and Fiendsmith, because spoiler alert, Fiendsmith wasn't hit on this ban list. But I could see like Snake Eye stuff making a return, but OSS is like a really big hit, and was kind of like one of the cards that was really giving like Snake Eye its real like potential to just get away with bullshit. As for like the last notable semi-limit, Morphing Jar came from 1 to 2, but Shavara is back to 2, which means Unchained like has, the ability to dodge stuff. The one Shavara was something that really hurt Unchained when it happened, and bringing it to 2, Yeah, good for Unchained players. Continuing with the massive slaughter of the current format, we are on the Limitless with Bestial Druid Worm. We all saw this coming. Masterpiece came back to 1 from the ban list, which is fair because he got reprinted. A lot of cards were reprinted. A lot of people thought like that stuff was coming off the ban list. Y'all have to remember with Stampede, we voted for that stuff to get reprints. It wasn't just a full like Konami choosing it. I'm sure a chunk of it was, but we voted for a lot of that stuff to get reprinted. So a lot of those reprints were not a sign of things coming off the list. Like people saw Electromite coming off the list because they saw a Stampede reprint, and it's like, no, we voted for Electromite. So like, no shit. So I wasn't surprised it didn't come off the list. But Masterpiece, fair enough. Mathmech Circular, it shouldn't have been banned to begin with. This card was not ban worthy when it got banned. This was probably the most confusing hit when that list came out, was why it was Circular banned, but he's back now. Detonator 1, this is the biggest fucking hit to Ryziel out of everything on this list, because Unicorn is all of a sudden a very scary card to Ryziel. Like, if you are going second against Cash, oh, this is scary. So Ryziel Detonator 1 is awesome. Also because like Malice playing like Metal Tronos, or like everybody playing Metal Tronos right now, everyone is going to be playing 1 Detonator for the Metal Tronos target. But if you're a Ryziel player, this is going to hurt a lot, because Metal Tronos and they summon Detonator, you lose your only Detonator for the whole game, essentially. So this one's huge. Bonfire 1, we saw this coming. 7 Tachyon, this is just going to force people to play 7 Tachyon, essentially. Brilliant Fusion was a huge hit, or a huge bring back. Scary, though, because I know like 1,000 FTKs were resulted from this card, so this will be interesting coming back. Crossout Designator and Talents to 1. Beautiful. Crossout Designator and Talents are 2 cards that people have been calling for to get banned for a long time. I'm also kind of the agreement that hand traps should be allowed to resolve. So I'm not like fully on board with like the talents being put to 1, because I think if we're going to have called by and cross out limited, then we need to be able to punish our opponent for using hand traps, for interacting with our board. So talents was kind of like the way to interact with that. However, I can also understand why it was put to 1, because it's not just the ability to punish hand traps, it's the ability to break a board. On top of that, if it was just simply if your opponent activates a monster effect on the main phase, then look at your opponent's hand. If it was just like that effect, sure, fine. But it's the other 2 effects on top of that that like really made this card very powerful. So putting it to 1 is fair. Crossout Designator, honestly, like Crossout Designator, yes, is when it is in the format, it is a just annoying card, because everyone is playing it, because everyone's playing all the same shit. So, you know, you saw everyone playing all the Mole Charm, you saw everyone's playing all these other cards. Malice was using this to out Lancia, which hurts Malice a lot because we don't have access to this. The thing is though, I can see this being just now another called by scenario, where now that you don't have to commit 3 deck slots to it, you're just playing called by and cross out in the main deck. Instead of committing 4 slots, you're just committing 2, and it's like, if you see it, you see it. And finally, I saved him for last, even though he's right there in the picture. Dimension Shifter is finally hit in some capacity. Now, yes, I would have very much preferred him to be banned, but honestly, him being at 1, I could definitely see a lot of decks just not running this. Malice might still play it, because again, it's like a if you see it, you see it scenario. This just means that Chimera players like myself, and all of you who are watching this video for the most part, we're eating pretty good right now, because nothing was more irritating playing Chimera and you get hit with a deck that's playing Shifter and they open Shifter. Now, the problem is those decks always seem to open Shifter regardless. I'm very happy that this card has been hit finally. Everyone was always saying like, oh, Shifter's fine for the format. Shifter's blocking out these cancerous decks that otherwise would be too powerful with him out of the format. Those decks were not in the format before Shifter existed. They're not going to be in the format if he's not here to begin with. And as for the last photo, the bans: Nightmare Griffin, Link Decoder, Abyss Dweller, and Bahamut Shark. This is where things got crazy. So Nightmare Griffin, I'm fine with this. As a Malice player, I'm okay with Griffin being banned. Honestly, I got to a point where I wasn't even summoning Nightmare Griffin, because Griffin just felt like this scenario where you're trying to secure the game, but if you're going against Ryzeal specifically, then they just send Aggregator and negate the Griffin anyways. So Cryptor just always feels a lot more powerful because Cryptor, as long as she's pointing at something, her effect can't be negated, so Aggregator doesn't do much in that scenario. Link Decoder hurts a lot though. Like this hurts a lot, and honestly with Circular coming back, like Link Decoder being banned means that like Mathmech can't get too crazy out of control, because Decoder was just essentially another body. Like Link Decoder made Cyber's decks before Malice play in a way that was a lot harder to beat them because they had that extra body. And Malice, this one's gonna hurt, because Link Decoder was more than just like the extra body. It was our Link 1 that we would link the Malice cards away to get a Bestial. It's basically what made Bestial plus a Malice name a full combo, essentially. We can still play like Lingaribo or Almirage, to still have like that Link 1 at our access, but we are not going to get the extra body. Link Decoder was also chain blocking like the Red Ransom, so you guaranteed that you could search the field spell and not lose to Ash. A little more difficult to do that now. Abyss Dweller, good fucking riddance. This card had to go. Again, us Chimera players, we eaten good tonight, boys, because we don't have Abyss Dweller to have to worry about against Ryzeal. We don't have Dimension Shifter to worry about against Malice. Like, Chimera, looking pretty good, especially since, again, Fiendsmith wasn't hit. And then Bahamut Shark, honestly, I personally wish Water got hit harder than it did. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, Water isn't putting up results, or, like, it's a tier 2 deck at most. No, Water, honestly, is tier 1. Like, Water is up there with Malice. It's up there with Blue Eyes. It's up there with Ryzeal. Water, like, 2 YCSs in a row won the YCS. So, Water deserved to get a hit. I wish it was harder than Bahamut. A lot of people are saying they should just hit Toad, but I think Bahamut is more correct, because not only does it hit Water, but it's hitting the Shark Ryzeal. Like, Shark Ryzeal is just not really like a thing now, because they were using it to make Bahamut Shark, to make Toad for their end board. Bahamut just made it so decks that couldn't normally play Toad but could play Bahamut can now play Toad. So I think Bahamut's like fine. Yes, there were better hits for Water. Like, you could have limited Dragoons, you could have banned Minstrel or Mu and Glacia, even though most builds aren't playing Mu and Glacia. And honestly, I think banning Bahamut, cutting off Water's access to Toad is fine, because, and then a lot of people are like, oh, well, they can still hand rip. True, they can still hand rip, but if they don't open the Minstrel and they can't like get to Minstrel right away, you still can like nib them in a very important spot. There are still like cards you can use to interact with Water, whereas like if they just set up Toad early, then you're not interacting with them at all and they're just going full combo. So like cutting them off of Toad is good. Also, they don't have an Omni Negate on their end board anymore with Toad, so like there's a mild form of interaction against their end board now, so that's nice. All right, so the big takeaway here, personally, I think Malice was hit harder than Ryzeal on this list, and I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will say, good, Malice is cancerous deck, blah, 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 but, like, I think Ryzeal wasn't really hit at all, in a sense. Like, yes, you have 1 less X, you have 1 less Ice, you have 1 less Sword, you have Detonator at 1, and Detonator at 1, I think, is, like, the only hit here that matters. The other 3 don't matter. Yes, you have 1 less body of each of your main guys. You have 1 Bonfire still. You have 3 7th Tachyon. You have 2 7th Ascension to search 7th Tachyon. You have all of these different ways to still get to your pieces, that the lack of 3 bodies doesn't matter. And honestly, most, at least pure builds, were already playing 2 sword as it is. So you're really only losing 2 bodies. X should be at 1, and I understand that they're not going to put it to 1 yet, because it's still too early to be like really hitting these decks. But my other thing here is that Ryzeal has essentially still most of its like utility. I think the pure version of Ryzeal takes a harder hit here, because again, 1 detonator and they are down a couple bodies, so it's like consistency. But Fiendsmith and Mitsurugi Raizio are still like completely live. Whereas we look at its meta counterpart as well, Malice, we're taking a bigger hit. Again, like I said, no one piece of Malice was like full combo other than Dormouse. Like Rabbit had a way to be full combo, but it was a little bit more difficult. It's by no means to the extent of Raizio, where every single card except for Node was full combo. And so Malice is going to struggle having the one less body on Dormouse and Rabbit, and then the one field spell. So they're seeing names less than they already were, because Raizio has like Bonfire to search their names. They have 7 Tachyon to search their names. Malice, we had like Signet Mining, which we just weren't playing. We had Gold Sark to find it. We had like Terraforming to find field spell. Like we didn't have a lot of ways to like really search our bodies. So it made things like a little difficult. And then on top of that, we are losing Dimension Shifter, which would like sometimes buy us a turn or help us play under Lancia, which big thing here is like now Malice just kind of like really loses to Lancia if we don't see Crossout, because we were siding like 3 Crossout to try and negate it. We are not able to like chain Shifter to again buy us a turn. We are down 2 bodies on Bestials to try and stall. We can technically swap out the 2 Jura Swarm that we lost for like 2 Saranir, so you could technically do that. But like overall, I do think Malice took like the bigger hit here, and that's fine. Malice was a harder deck to interact with. Like Raizio, you just like droll them and like you don't win the game, but they have to think a little harder. Malice, if you didn't see Lancia, you probably were losing. But Link Decoder, I think, is like the biggest hit here. Griffin's fine. Like again, Griffin was like just an alternate option, like an alternate win condition that if they outed it, you had your other board. Like Griffin was just a win more, essentially. Like you built your board how you wanted to build it, and then you had Griffin slapped on top of that just to further enhance, like, you can't interact with me. Griffin gone just means we just build the board without Griffin, essentially. Baoku still get played in the deck. We're just going to play like Nightmare Phoenix or Cerberus to make it. Or on top of that, we can just play Fiendsmith cards. I know like the Fiendsmith build's been running around a little bit, but like overall, like Bestial Malice does take a bit of a hit here. So we're kind of like back to the drawing board. Like I will be toying around with Collapse Serpent and Wyver Burster more. Probably 2 Wyver Burster, 1 Collapse Serpent. But like big takeaways here is like Raizio's still like easily like the best deck to play. They're just going to be smarter with their detonator, which is like fine. I also noticed like Blue Eyes by no means was like touched here. Like there's no Primite cards on here, which is like fair. Lord Lulo hasn't been reprinted yet, and Ether Barrel is still too new. But like, where's my limit of Blue Eyes White Dragon at? Like, hello? Majesty of Blue Eyes is crazy. I'm kidding, obviously. But that's really all I have for you guys today. Again, I had already seen the ban list prior to making this video. It's hard for me to do, like, live reactions because I am, like, out and about doing life things when the live streams happen now, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to do like a live reaction. But I also wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on the ban list. I'm still like processing everything, and this video is going up at like 1 in the morning as of recording this video, and I do intend to do a market watch post ban list and like post Stampede reveals the same day of uploading this video, so keep an eye out for that. And once again, I am doing a Malice Core giveaway, so make sure you leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and answer the following 3 questions. Question number 1 is, what is the card you are most hyped about on this current Forbidden Limited list? Question number 2 is, what card do you feel like was missed, and what should it have been at, limit, semi-limit, or banned? Question number 3 is, what card was I most hyped about on this list? And it was very obvious. I made it very obvious. But other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.